Hey guys, I will show you the best career mode teams to use in FC24 in this video. The first team has to be Luton Town, of course. Luton has one of the best stories of climbing up through the English divisions and eventually reaching the Premier League. Time to continue their in real life career mode in FC24. Despite never being in the Premier League before, Luton managed to win the Carabao Cup in the 1987-88 season. This is the only major trophy the club has won. In career mode you will have to first help Luton survive in the Premier League and eventually winning the Premier League in 6 seasons. You will have to keep Ruddock and Panzu at the club, who was at Luton when they were in League 2 and is still with the club in the Premier League. Regarding transfers, you mainly need to sign Championship and lower rated Premier League players for a maximum of 15 million euros per player. You will have to develop each player into a Premier League star yourself instead of buying them from other clubs. You can use the youth academy to find new talents as well, but only have scouts who have a maximum of 3 stars judgment and 3 stars experience. Luton Stadium, Kenilworth Road will be added to FC24 at a later date. So if you want to start a career mode with them right now, you have to change the generic stadium and make it look like Kenilworth Road yourself. Luton's squad is very low rated in comparison to some other teams in the Premier League. The main players at the start of this challenge will be the likes of Marvelous Nakamba, Tahi Chung, Isaac Kabore, Ross Barkley and Albert Sambi Lukonga. If you want to make this challenge even harder, you should disable the first transfer window and play with Luton's current squad for at least half a season. Union Berlin is in the Champions League for the first time in the club's history this season. Besides this fantastic achievement, Union has never actually won a major trophy. They finished second in the Bundesliga in 1923 and were runners-up in the DFB Pokal in 2001. The goal of a career mode with Union Berlin is to have a successful first year in the Champions League and to qualify for the competition every season. Eventually you will need to actually win the Champions League as well, but also win the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal in the meantime. And it is fair to say that Union Berlin have a very tough Champions League group with Real Madrid, Napoli and Braga. Try and at least get third in the group so your European journey continues in the Europa League. Union also have their real stadium in FC24 as well, which makes it so much better to do a Union Berlin save this year. They have signed some interesting players this summer with the likes of Robin Gosens and Leonardo Bonucci. They also loaned Brendan Aronson and David Datro Fofana for the first season. In terms of tactics, I would recommend to keep playing a 5 at the back formation and mostly playing on the counter attack with long balls. For transfers, I would mostly look at the reserve players from big clubs or lower rated players from other German clubs. Another team who is in the Champions League for the first time is RC Lens. The French side finished second last season but did sell their star player Lois Openda and captain Seko Fofana. They still have a very good squad though, with the likes of new striker El Yawahi, Rai Samba, Kevin Danzo and Facundo Medina. In a tough Champions League group with Arsenal, Sevilla and PSV, Lens are looking for an opportunity to finish at least in 3rd place. The club has won Ligue 1 once in their club history in 1998, so the goal of a Lens career mode is to win Ligue 1 again of course, whilst also winning a European Cup. I would highly recommend to pick up players from other French clubs, and as Lens have improved a lot over the last season, you can also try to buy some good players from mid-table French clubs in order to strengthen your team. Unfortunately their real stadium isn't in the game, so you will have to customize the generic stadium to make it look like their real stadium. Brighton is one of the most exciting teams in Europe right now and they currently also play in the Europa League. Their group consists of Marseille, Ajax and AEK Athens. A negative side to doing a Brighton career mode currently is that the likes of Kaoru Mitoma and Roberto De Zerbi do not have a scan game face in FC24 yet. Brighton do have a lot of talents in their squad though, with João Pedro, Evan Ferguson, Bart Verbruggen, Julian Ankiso and Ansu Fati of course. Fati is only on loan for the first season. And Brighton have never won a major trophy in their club history, so try to eventually win the Premier League and the Champions League in 5 seasons. Make smart signings, buying players for relatively cheap and at a young age who can eventually replace your starting 11 players if they get sold. You save a lot of money this way as you develop the players yourself and sell other players when they are at their peak or you get a good offer for them. I would recommend to mainly look at younger players from other top 5 leagues, but signing 1 or 2 players from other countries is fine as well. Spanish midfielder Santi Cazorla is now back in career mode as he has returned to his boyhood club Real Oviedo. They currently play in the 2nd Spanish division. As Santi Cazorla is 38 years old and will retire in the 1st season in career mode, you will have to help Real Oviedo get promoted to La Liga in the 1st season too. After, you will have to make Real Oviedo a stable La Liga side who eventually becomes champions of Spain too. Mainly use the youth academy to develop more great Spanish players, as Oviedo has also developed Michu, Juan Mata and Adrian Lopez over the years. If possible, find the region of Santi Cazorla and sign him to Oviedo and make him a club legend. If you can't find him, find a Spanish central midfielder through the youth academy and use him as the new Cazorla. For the first season, you can try to loan some talents from the 1st division to help you gain promotion to La Liga. And when you eventually reach La Liga, focus on signing a few good free agents to strengthen your team and to save some money. Eventually you can sell a few players from a youth academy to generate more money, which you can eventually spend from the third season onwards. I would recommend to mainly sign players from other Spanish clubs, both from the first and second division. Celtic finally have their real stadium in FC24, which makes them a great option for a career mode. Celtic have won 53 Scottish League titles in their club history, with their rivals Rangers having 55. The goal in the Celtic save is to overtake Rangers in league titles, but to also win the Champions League again, as Celtic won it in 1967. They are currently in the Champions League in a group with Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid and Lazio. Their current squad has quite a few good talents, including Matt O'Reilly, Leo Abada and Rocco Vata. They also have the likes of Joe Hart, Alexandre Bernabei and Cameron Carter-Vickers. But the transfer strategy has changed the last few years. Celtic are now focusing more on signing Asian players, mainly Japanese and South Koreans. This has worked out well so far, so keep signing more Asian players in the Celtic career mode. Of course, you still need to focus on bringing British talents through the youth academy as well, mainly focusing on Scottish and Irish players. But not to forget, you can now play a proper old firm in career mode, as Rangers also have their stadium in the game as well. To make it a bit more challenging, you can add a rule that you have to sell your highest rated player if you lose to your rivals Rangers. Tottenham Hotspur are a very interesting team to follow, as they are going into a new era after Harry Kane left them for Bayern Munich this summer. The all-time club top goalscorer was their main player for the past couple of years, but the club now needs to focus on a new playing style. The new manager, Ange Postecoglou, does not have his scanned game face yet in FC24. I would recommend to play the same formation and tactical style that's currently set up in a career mode with Spurs, and mainly focus on keeping possession when trying to attack. Of course, the main goal is to finally win a trophy with Tottenham again. I would give yourself 4 seasons to try and win as many trophies as possible. At the end of those 4 seasons, you need to have at least 5 players in the starting 11 who are currently already at the club. Do note that Spurs don't play any European competition in the first season in career mode. The squad currently has a lot of great younger talents who can develop into world-class players, including Mickey van der Ven, Pedro Porro, Destiny Udogie, Dejan Kulusevski and Brandon Johnson. In terms of transfers, you cannot sign Harry Kane back to the club, as Spurs are essentially moving on without him currently. As Spurs have made a few very big signings over the last few years, with not every one of them working out, you cannot spend more than 50 million euros on one player. And as Spurs already have a solid squad, you cannot sign more than 3 players per season. As Arsenal are Tottenham's biggest rivals, you can add an extra rule that you have to sell one of your best players if you lose a game to them. You can also add a rule that every season without a trophy, you have to sell your highest rated player. So which team are you gonna use in career mode? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more career mode tips, and I will see you at the next video.